Hello friends, welcome to Knowledge Bytes IT. This is the seventh part of Microsoft Azure Fundamental Series. This course is designed to clear the AZ-900 certification as well as gain some knowledge to getting started with Microsoft Azure Cloud. So far we have learnt about multiple Azure services as well as in the last chapter we learnt about the Azure costing, the factor that affects your Azure resource cost. Then we learnt about how to get the total cost of ownership for a solution or workload running in Azure, and how to get an estimate for a resource that we are going to planning to provision in Azure. So now we will talk about budget and cost analysis. So a budget is something or nothing but a spending limit in Azure. So basically you will going to set up a cap for your cost in the subscription level or in the resource group level. This is the only two places where you can apply a budget. Now what is cost analysis? Cost analysis, also known as cost management, is a tool offered by Azure where you can go to either in your subscription level or in your resource group level and see how much you have spent for the resources that you have provisioned within your subscription. This gives you an holistic idea of what is your past, like how the breakdown of your past invoices, as well as what is the forecasted cost, so that you can prepare for resource optimization or cost optimization as well as plan between. Now let us take a look at these things in Azure portal. I was already logged in, that's why I can directly jump into this home page, but if you are not logged in, then type in this address called portal.azure.com and you would be asked for your provide your username password and you will be logged in. I said that we can set up budget in two places, subscription and resource group. So we'll start with resource group. Say I have a budget of Rs 100 or Indian rupees 100 for this resource group for the whole month. So and I need to set up a budget. Also I want to be notified whenever 90% of this budget has been expired via an email. So what can I do about it? So to start with, I'll have to start in the search bar called budget. Once to get to the budgets, currently you see there are no budgets are there. Let it get refreshed. So it says you do not have any budget. So I'll start by creating a budget first. I'll click on add and it will open up this create a budget window. See, I have already scoped the subscription, our resource group app RG1, and this would be solely applicable for all the resources that is hosted within app RG1. So I will say app1 budget and say reset period is billing month. So I want this budget to be reset every month, but if you want this budget to be reset every quarter or year, then you can certainly do that. So I will say calendar months rather than starting from that. So it will be like it's December to November, and this budget will expire like automatically on 2024. This is because so that you can revisit again and see if you want to spend more or spend less about this particular application or particular resource hosted on that particular resources. So now to start with, I'll give it an amount. So I'll say 100 is my budget. Then I'll click on next. So it says how you would like to be alerted. So I'll say alert will be based on actual cost, not the forecasted, and I would like to be alerted when 90% of budget, that is 90, has been spent, and I want a notification. So this is the alert group that we have previously set. Apart from that, I also wanted to be notified to a particular person. Called abcd.abc.com. So I want to notify him as well, and you can also have a language preference in case you don't want to go with the default language that you are using. You could choose any external language. So I will choose English United Kingdom and I will click on create. So now my budget has been created. It says I have a monthly budget which runs from calendar month 1 to 30, and this is the budget expiration date, and it's a monthly budget period. For every month I have 100 rupees of budget. Currently I have not spent anything, so it's 0%. And this is because I'm running a free trial, and that is why there are no values have been spent. And otherwise, if you are in a pay-as-you-go or an enterprise agreement, you could have seen some monies were already spent, since we have already provisioned a lot of resources within this resource group. Like I was saying, there is a virtual machine, public IP, app service plan, web app, etc. etc. Similarly, if I have to go to cost management or cost, simply if you type in the search word called cost and go to cost analysis, it will open up a page where it will give you a granular breakdown about your costs. I'll wait for this page to load and then we'll talk more on this one. So it says I do not incur any cost, not available, budget not available. If you encounter this similar kind of situation with your free trial, then you need not to worry. This is expected, and I intentionally show you this because most of you would be following with me with your free trial subscription. That is why, since in free trial you will be getting like free trial credits, and that is why in the cost analysis section you will not get any cost reported to you. But just to show you something, you have options to group by location, group by something like resources, resource group name, and anything, etc. etc. If you want to get a more group by things, and on top of that you can generate various type of charts like area chart, line chart, column chart, or a table. You can also download your billing in 3 different formats: is image as PNG, Excel, or a CSV file. And you can also schedule and export to your storage account in a scheduled manner. Say you want to export every month's invoice to storage account for historical needs. That is also possible. Also, you have an option to like customize the date range, customize based on like calendar month, relative date, or particular last 3 invoice. So you can simply put a custom range as well to do the cost analysis. So that is all about the cost analysis. Now we'll go back to the slide. Next topic, we have tags. Tags are nothing but a key pair value that helps you organize Azure resources. So each tag will have something called a name and a value. So let me show you this, how do you create a tag in each Azure resources. So points to remember, you can tag each and everything in Azure, whether it's a resource group or it's a individual resource. So let's say I want to tag this resource group called AppRG1. What I have to do, I'll have to come to this section called tags within resource group section, and I'll have to give a name and a value. I'll say application name app1. Can say Evelyn Brand as a dev, and I can apply these tags. Similarly, in the resource group too, what I can do, I can create other tags. This time I will also say application name is app2, but I will keep the environment as dev. Now you can ask like how this tag is helping me to organize resources. Say you want to find all the resources which is or all the resource groups particularly here, like which is a part of your dev or development environment. What you can do, you can come in the show portal menu option, click on all services, then look for tags. Once you come to this tag sections, if you select on this tag called environment tab, you will see all the associated resources. Like you can see both the RGs are listed here, but in case you want to filter by application name one, then you can only find one particular RG. The same thing happens if you select the application name into app2. So this is a very unique way that where you can organize the resource and also do all sorts of things. So let's see what are the use cases and prominent use that you can do with Azure tags. So first and foremost use case is resource management. So I just show you how you can use your tags to locate and act on resources that's associated with specific workload. Like I was trying to fetch the dev environment resource group. So resource management is one of the prominent use cases for tags. Another thing is a cost management tag. What is a cost management tag? There is not, or another use case is cost management. How you can do that? Say application one is owned by a particular HR group and application 2 is owned by the IT group, and you want to tag all the resources that bill all the resources that HR groups do directly to HR groups. You can directly do that using that cost management tag, and you want to find what are the resources that IT teams do, and you can just filter by the tag called IT and you can build that based on that tag. So this is another use case for cost management. Now what is an operation management? You can tag your environments depending upon your criticality. Say you have 3 different environments called dev, production and say you have 3 different environments, dev, and production, and another test is also there. So what you can do, you can tag those all the resource group or individual resources according to those naming conventions, so that the person looking into this, they can know which are my production resources, which is my development resources, which is your test resources, so that then they can focus on the availability or the optimization on these resources according to the need and the criticality. What is security tag? It's more like a data classification. To give an example, say you might be having something data which is confidential data. You might be labeling at C. Something would be public data. You can maybe labeling at P or public, so on and so forth. So you can use tags for that data sensitivity so that you can accordingly apply similar data classification or data sensitivity policy onto those resources. What is compliance tag? Say you are in a business or in an industry segment. Let's say you are in a water industry. So there are certain regulations that water industry must to follow. There are certain reporters that you need to support through regulator. So on those regulatory resources and compliance resources, you can add those tags and you can get those resources or the compliable resources sort out by those tag resources, so that you can put extra attention to them. Now what is workload optimization tags? Say you are creating a different virtual machine, or you are doing a complex architecture, or simply saying a 3-tier deployment where you have a front-end application tier, a middleware, and another is back-end database tier, or something like a LAMP stack or mean stack. You want to track the deployment of the entire resources or entire lifecycle of the complex application at once. So you can simply specify something at deployment tag or workload optimization tag during the resource provision, so that you know, okay, this is the part of my LAMP stack or this is the part of my mean stack. I'll show you few more examples in the tags in Azure portal itself. We'll go back to resource groups. Now let's say within this resource group called app RG1, this VM belongs to HR group. This is also dev environment, but this belongs to HR group. Rather than group, I will say team. This is from HR team, and this data sensitivity or data classification. Let me type classification rather than. I'll say this is a confidential. Maybe HR team is hosting some confidential financial or payroll related data to this virtual machine. I'll apply the tags to this particular app. Sorry, PIP as well, because this is also belongs to HR team, and this is also dev environment. And apply. Whereas this web app is used by the IT team, so I'll add a different pair of tag for them. First team, this is also dev environment resource only, so I'll add the dev environment tag. For data classification, this time I will do private. This is not confidential, but this is a private data that your IT team doesn't want to share outside of your organization. I'll do the apply. Now if I go back to tags now, and if I want to see like which application holds confidential data or which resources hold confidential data, I can do this by using this tag. If I want to bill HR team based on the resources they use, I can utilize this tag called team HR and send them the bill for the VM and the PIP. Similarly, if I can send the bill for the IT team for the web app. So this is the some ways that you can utilize tag, and these are the practical use cases of tags. So hope you liked it. We will go back to the summary now. So in summary, we learned in AZ-900 the core cloud concepts of cloud like cloud deployment and service model. Namely, in cloud deployment, we learned about public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. In service model, we learned about IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. We also learned the shared responsibility of each cloud service model between the tenant and the provider. We learned about Azure regions, Azure zones, and government cloud. To recap, Azure region is nothing but a geographical location where 2 or more data center would be available with a low latency pair. Azure zone is a subset of an Azure region where two or more data center would be connected with a lower latency network. And this is an hybrid technique to manage an uptime and data redundancy. Government cloud is nothing but a public cloud offering from Microsoft that is designed for legal purposes or for government bodies directly. Then we had a hands-on one Azure Virtual Machine, VNet, NSG app, etc. We discussed about Azure consumption model, what are the factors that impact your Azure pricing. We talked about Azure TCO and pricing details. So keep these points to remember. You would utilize Azure TCO calculator when you are calculating or forecasting a cost, running a workload in on-premise versus Azure cloud, and you will use pricing calculator to get an estimate of provisioning Azure services. We learned about Azure tagging and some of the use cases for tagging like security tag, operational tag, workload management tag, resource locator tag, etc. I hope you liked this session and hope this session has been useful. I thank you so much for your patience and being with us for in this journey. If you have any comments, any suggestions or any questions, then please let us know in the comment. Also, let us know which course you would like to learn next with us. Once again, thank you so much. Please do like, share and subscribe to support this channel. Bye for now.